welcome to this episode of Kennedy Saves the World. So you are despondent about a second Trump term. You don't know what to do. It's really expensive to file the paperwork and to move to another country and uproot yourself. But what if you could leave the country for 4 years and then come back an American citizen, reborn and refreshed? Well, one cruise ship company, Villa V, is offering a 4-year excursion. So you can leave the country on a global tour for 4 years. If you want to share a room with someone, it's $160,000 for 4 years. So it's $40,000 a year. So you have a place to live, all your food, you get to see cool stuff. If you want to be in a room by yourself and cry like a hermit, then you can do that for $260,000. And for a lot of people, that's, lower living expenses than you would have on land. And you don't have to be bothered by President Hitler. Joining me now to discuss the kind of people who would go on such a cruise, none other than Gutfeld co-host Catherine Timpf, also known as Cat Timpf.
Yes.
Welcome back to Kennedy Saves the World. Last we spoke, you were releasing your second book.
Yes.
And you had announced to the world that you were pregnancy.
Yes.
Would you like to be pregnant on a cruise ship right now?
No. I don't, no. This sounds kind of cool to spend 4 years traveling the world and seeing all these different countries. The problem would be the kind of people that would go on this cruise.
That you're stuck with on a floating apartment building for 4 years.
For 4 years. Because these people, this is not cheap. It's it's really expensive.
Yeah.
And isn't it like $400K or something like that?
For single occupancy, it's $260,000.
Yeah.
Which isn't horrible if you break that down.
Because you get your food covered, your booze covered. But I'm assuming you still need to, unless you sell your house, then what are you doing when you get back? You probably still have a mortgage you're paying for that you're just not using, whatever. So it's going to be wealthy people who believe that, they have to, that they're also oppressed. So, that's the worst. That's the
have
worst.
The freedom to do something life-changing and cool.
Yes.
Yet they're complaining on everyone else's behalf.
Yes, exactly. They don't have, I can't just step away from my life for 4 years. You can't, most people can't. But these people can, and they can also afford that. And they can also afford to, that's not a long-term solution for where to live.
Yeah.
They have all that flexibility, all that money, and they're oppressed. That's the worst combination of, we all know people like that. We all know people that, and again, I voted third party, whatever. I don't have a dog in the fight, but we all have seen the people where they are crying on Instagram about, Trump winning. And I've seen the sad Instagram stories, and I'm like, you are literally sitting on a couch that your parents bought you in an apartment where they pay your rent.
Yes.
You are crying in an apartment that you have someone else paid for because of capitalism. So it's like those people who are like the democratic socialists whose parents are rich. It's the same. It's going to be that. It's going to be that in a cruise.
Those are the most annoying people on the planet.
The most annoying people.
That's always why I never wanted to live in Malibu. Because Malibu has some great fun people, but it also has rich trust fund kids who are the worst in the world.
Yeah, so this will be that without the great people that are sometimes in Malibu.
Yes.
Because this will be people who, again, it's gonna be the people, who it's gonna be? The people who are we see protesting Fox News outside the Fox News building once a month, and they're all retired.
Do you know what I called them when they got really mad at me?
What?
I walked in one day and they were just really annoying to me.
Yeah.
And they were shouting in my face, and I said, "Oh, look, it's the retirees." And they got so mad at it. And this one lady's like, "We're we're and some of us work."
No, you're mine with the same place that I went, because when I told the Cam, we were walking one time in the building, and Cam was walking with me, and I was like, "Babe, when we're retired, I want to be on a beach, drinking and making out with you, making other people uncomfortable. Are those two old people making out? That's how I see my future. You know what I mean? And not standing outside of Fox News being this is bad.
Yeah,
Okay.
something you hate.
Those people
not making a dent.
No,
not a dent.
We're
in the ratings.
still around. Yeah, exactly. So it's okay, and also it's whatever. That's a whole cruise of those people.
People who grudge tweet too.
Yes.
So it's interesting because also the people who've already signed up for these long-term cruises, according to the cruise company, are conservatives.
Yeah.
They're Fox fans, and now they're going to be strapped with these miserable, rich liberals who are the worst people on the planet.
Yes, they really
And
are.
they're busybodies who have to nitpick everything, and they're going to nitpick the staff, and they're going to be like, are you washing your hands for more than 30 seconds?
Yeah.
You're wasting water. Are you really taking a straw? We're in the ocean. It's going to kill sea turtles and dolphins.
Yeah.
So those are the kind of people you're stuck with for 4 years.
For 4 years. And those are the people. They really are the reason that Trump won, is because people in the working class were really sick and tired of hearing people tweet from their, estates about what they can and can't say, and how, you should feel bad for this, this person with real first world problems. Like, this pronoun, this, that, like, people don't want to hear that.
The economy's great. What are you complaining
What are you complaining
about?
about? Exactly. Like,
and it's a good friend of mine put it so succinctly. He said, a banana used to cost 15 cents. Now it costs $1.50. And every time you go to the grocery store, you don't know if your credit card's going to be declined. And it's like, that's it in a nutshell. That's how people voted. So stop telling me everything's great when I'm maxed out.
Right. And these people, oh man, it's just, they're just going to like, the South Park episode where they love to smell their own farts, like that's what I picture. That's the cruise when they all smell, they all like smell their own. That's what this is going to be. But they're all going to be like, we're so, I can't.
Don't go anywhere. More Kennedy Saves the World right after this. Lotus, my 15-year-old,
of course,
went on a cruise this year with one of her best friends. Her dad was kind enough her best friend wanted a buddy and took Lotus along with them. And they did a cruise to Bermuda. And Lotus came back and she said that you've never seen people drink more in their lives when alcohol is free.
Yeah.
And she said she had never seen that level of intoxication because people didn't have to pay for anything. And the adults were complaining that the drinks didn't taste good, but it didn't stop them.
No, of course not.
And then an older lady came up to them and she was like, do you know how good your skin is? You don't appreciate your skin. You're going to appreciate it when you're old. I'm old. And then she was like terrorizing these two 15-year-old girls. And they're like, okay.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah.
So those are the people that are going to be on this cruise.
Oh, man. I mean, I kind of respect it, though. I actually want to be doing that when I'm old. I want to go up to someone's 15-year-old daughter and be like, you don't know. Like, I'm actually going to do that.
Life is so good when you're young.
Yeah, but open bar, like, there's drunk, and then there's open bar drunk. Because it doesn't matter if you're in a financial position to afford your own drinks. It's just like you feel like you're getting away with something.
Yeah.
You feel like
we can't afford not to have a fourth blue Hawaiian.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, you're right about that. Like, there is definitely something to be said about leaning into it.
Yeah.
And you reminded me that you went on a cruise a
Yeah.
few years ago.
Yeah.
What was your big discovery?
Oh, it was the worst. I went on a national review cruise. It was part of my job to go on a national review cruise. And while I was there, I found out I had bed bugs at home. Which we all could have seen that coming.
What happens if you're on this cruise ship, right? Because we all hear about people mysteriously like jumping off of a cruise ship when they've just gotten in a fight with their significant other. But also there's like, when you hear about norovirus, like it just ravages.
That's what I'm scared of. Cam always wants
could conceivably, like, you had bed bugs in your apartment because the grifter that you were entangled with brought them in.
Correct.
And was like, oh, that's so weird. I was just staying at my buddy's place and he has bed bugs.
He also didn't understand that he did. He was like, you're not going to believe this, babe. You know who else has bed bugs? My buddy. And I'm like, oh, the buddy whose place you were staying at? That you then stayed, bed bug couch. Right. And then now he's got like a lot of them. They're everywhere.
Oh.
I'm like, oh, cool. Because I never actually saw one. It was really minor. Like, not to brag, it was like just a little light infestation. But it doesn't matter. You still have to fumigate your whole apartment. You still have to get everything out of there.
You have to put your stuff in plastic bags.
All my stuff in, like, sort it. And there's this place called I could not more highly recommend. This is not an ad. Bed Bug Laundry in NYC. It's expensive, but it's so worth it.
Are they sponsoring you?
No, but they should. I would be the face of them because they saved my life. Like, they will call you and everyone they talk to is in major distress. And they tell you like you can put different. You have to sort out everything you own, buy like what the fabric is, put it in these bags so they heat treat it in different ways depending what the fabric is.
Oh, that is literally my worst nightmare.
You have to move out, and then also the chemicals you can they're not safe for pets. So I had to stay in a hotel with a pet-friendly hotel with Sheens.
My God.
And
it was pre-Carl, of course.
Yes, pre-Carl. This is BC. This is before Cam, before my husband. This was obviously,
BC,
this
BC,
was like I was
before
up
Cam, before Carl.
yes. Yeah. In fact, based on this story, you definitely would not expect me to then meet my husband like a couple months later and like become a married woman who's expecting a child within wedlock. Like this is not what you would expect.
But you can get bed bugs and you can get norovirus on the cruise ship.
On the cruise ship, yes. Bed bugs, yes. I would not recommend bed bugs.
I'm sure there are people in the cruise ship industry who are enjoying this podcast right now screaming, no!
No, I would rather get norovirus than bed bugs.
Ugh.
Honestly, bed bugs is one of the worst things that can happen to you.
You know, norovirus, like, you look really good.
Yeah,
like,
you
when
get
we all
skinny.
got sick after going to Julie Banderas' Thanksgiving party, like, I've never looked better.
Yeah. I mean, the bed bugs, there's nothing. You don't look
No,
good.
you don't look good.
You get bites.
Yeah, and then
You're
you
real
have
itchy.
phantom. So we
that.
had a lice outbreak in our gymnastics team.
Oof. Never
and
had that one.
I still have phantom lice, and I have lice dreams. Like, and I went back to the lice place, and I was like, "You have to check me." And they're like, "You didn't have it in the first place." I'm like, "I know I've got it
No,
now. I
it's
can
bad.
feel it." And they're like, "Okay,
It's really
that's-
bad.
yeah."
It's also, they tell you, I mean, by they, I mean, I found this out on Reddit, but it makes sense. So sometimes it's really bad. Sometimes when I'm feeling sad, I'll go on Bedbugs Reddit and like be like, oh, at least I'm not in this situation anymore.
Stop
Because
it.
I want to remember like how bad it was, and like no matter what, I get to go home. Because and I'll like just go on Bedbugs Reddit. I feel bad like making myself feel better but I also feel like
I
it's
learn new
okay
things about you every
because
time we talk, so
I
thank
feel
you.
like it's okay because I have been through it, so it's not like I'm like looking down on these people because like I've been there. But you have to keep staying in your bed, because if you move to the couch, then they will travel,
that's
so then you can
horrible.
spread the
No,
infestation.
No,
So you have to keep staying in your bed unless you.
that is a form of torture.
Yeah, I didn't sleep.
I
for
don't
like
know how
days.
you could.
I didn't sleep.
Oh, that is so. I think we've sort of talked ourselves out of this great idea of going on a
Yeah, I'm
four-year
not going.
cruise.
Not
You know,
going.
maybe when I'm a retiree.
Yeah, a 4-year cruise, but I'd want to do, people who just like think that that's it. We're doing this because it's fun and not
Could you
because
go on a
we're
month
here.
safari?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I told you I wanted to abandon my whole life when I went to Africa and live in the
never
trees.
forget that conversation with Cam. I really want to be a ranger.
I really
And he's
want.
like, babe, I really don't want you to do that, but I love you. So if you're going to do that, I will follow you.
Yeah, he did.
Which I thought was so sweet
It
and
was
romantic.
very sweet. It was very
Yeah.
sweet. I mean, I'm still like, I really, yeah. If I ever get like fired from Fox, I'm not gonna be like, all right, well, I guess I'll just do something sort of. No, I'm gonna do like OnlyFans. But if my dad's alive, I can't do that. So then I'll go to Africa.
You'll be a ranger in Africa.
Yeah.
Which do you think
I
would
actually
be more
don't think-
emotionally taxing?
Yeah, I don't
being
think
a
I could do-
ranger in South Africa, a park ranger, or OnlyFans?
Honestly, I don't think I could ever do OnlyFans. I don't judge anyone who does.
Yeah.
I just don't think I could do it. I don't think I could do it. I think I can't do it. I can only.
I'm smelling a third book here, Kat.
Yeah, I think I can do Africa. I could live in the bush. The
bush.
I can live in the bush.
Welcome to the bush. All right. Well, there is your cruise ship conundrum settled. This has been Kennedy Saves the World. We will save you from bed bugs, lice, norovirus, and
I just
long
gave some
cruise
hot
ships.
tips for bed bugs. I
Those-
literally gave like an exhaustive list of
Yeah,
tips.
that's great. Now you know there's a place to go.
Mm-hmm.
What is it called?
Bed bug laundry NYC. I wouldn't have not made it through without you if you guys happen to be listening to this.
Send the royalty checks to
Yeah.
Kat Timpf. All right, this has been Kennedy Saves the World, along with Kat Timpf. I'm Kennedy.
Listen ad-free with a Fox News Podcast Plus subscription on Apple Podcasts, and Amazon Prime members can listen to this show ad-free on the Amazon Music app.
Oh, go ahead and leave me a review while you're there. I'd love to hear what you have to say. You've been listening to Kennedy Saves the World on the Fox News Podcast Network.